Denver's mayor uses his first veto to preserve homeless camp sweeps in freezing cold weather. It's the exact opposite of what he said he'd do during the campaign. A family asking for a hookup to a city's water supply gets asked in return, how about we build some affordable housing on your land?
We're going to get to be here. We're going to get to redevelop the house. And that's what has to come with it is the development up there.
Sitting down with the head of Xcel Energy in Colorado to talk about yet another rate hike increase. And hearing the good news in our neighbors' lives on a Friday evening always ends our week on an up note. It's science. And this is next. Denver's mayor is vetoing a ban on homeless sweeps in freezing cold weather. Mike Johnston's going back on a pledge that he made when campaigning last year. Johnston's first veto will preserve the city's ability to push people out of street encampments even when the temperature is below freezing. City Council just narrowly passed that ban after advocates said people living on the streets could die if they get separated from their tents or cold weather gear. The mayor's veto letter says the city does not plan to force people out of encampments in the freezing cold unless there is other shelter available. This was an issue during last year's mayoral campaign, and Johnston took the exact opposite position. We should note, though, he did that at a time when sweeps under the Hancock administration did not necessarily include the offer of shelter, as the sweeps do now. Here's Johnston at that forum held by the unhoused community when candidates were asked to stand if they would stop sweeps when the temperature was below freezing.
Will you stop sweeps when it is under 32 degrees Fahrenheit or freezing weather? I'm seeing Lisa, I'm seeing Jesse, Terrence, Renata, Chris, Mike.
City Council does not appear to have the votes to override the mayor's veto, not even close. Former mayoral candidate Lisa Calderon, who endorsed Johnston but pledged that she'd hold him accountable, she today called the decision inhumane, said that Johnston is ignoring medical experts, the advice of people living on the streets, and the majority on City Council. The impact of the 2013 floods on the Front Range still felt in places, like in Boulder County, where a family's well was destroyed in that flooding a decade ago. They've asked the city of Boulder to annex their land, make them part of the city so they can hook up to city water. Well, sure, the city said, if we can have affordable housing built on some of your land. Our Kelly Rinke has that story.
You don't find this kind of place very often anywhere.
Views and open space like this in Boulder are precious.
We've been on the property since 1963.
The lot is even more special when it holds decades of memories. The Kent family has never wanted to give it up, even when living here got hard after the flood in 2013.
With the flood, the well, the groundwater kind of changed and the well was not as good, so it's been a challenge.
So Joe Kent found a way to fix the problem, asked the property to be annexed into Boulder so they can connect to city water. But Boulder asked for something in return.
I said, well, if you do, you need to annex, and plus, if you're going to annex, you need to provide housing.
Next to his house on the family's 5-acre lot, the city wanted to build 15 new homes. 6 of them would be permanently affordable. The idea was approved by City Council on Thursday night.
You know, the city requires some sort of community benefit in order to annex a property. So it's a unique circumstance in that the city has the ability to negotiate these terms and basically require like an actual mixed income neighborhood.
Chandler Van Skok is the principal planner for Boulder. A developer agreed to build the community with the 6 permanently affordable units, each estimated to cost less than $420,000.
I mean, I think one council member last night made the comment like it's like finding a unicorn.
This idea wasn't how the Kent family thought this would end up, but they're excited to see progress after years of waiting.
Absolutely worth it.
The Kemp family plans to demolish the existing home and rebuild a new home on the property. Those 6 permanently affordable homes will be deed restricted, which means they will not appreciate in value.
So he's going to be able to sell this land to the developer. So presumably he's going to make some good money on this land.
Yes.
But in return, he's no longer going to have the big parcel that he always had.
You know, they've had this for decades. They've enjoyed having the extra space. But if your well is destroyed and you need a hookup to water, he said, you know, this kind of ended up working out and they're just happy to be able to move forward with this process.
I just wonder if it might become a model for other places because of the demand for affordable housing, where anytime any property owner says, hey, can I get a little something, something? It's like, well, could we get some housing here?
It's unique because they've never really done this to a lot where they still have the homeowner on the land. You know, if there have been developments that have been available, you know, they kind of work with that developer, but working with the homeowner is unique.
Yeah, hopefully it's a win-win. Everybody's a happy neighbor. All right, Kelly, thank you. The Colorado GOP has lost again in its effort to ban unaffiliated voters from Republican primaries. Judge ruled against the GOP's request for an injunction today. Republicans want to block Prop 108. That's the voter-approved measure that allows Colorado's largest voting bloc, unaffiliateds, to participate in primaries. Republicans could opt out if they could get 75% of their party leaders to agree on it, but they haven't been able to get that. Today, the judge also knocked down the GOP arguments that unaffiliated voters are somehow secretly working with Democrats to interfere in Republican elections. So, unaffiliated, you can continue to participate in Republican or Democratic primaries this year, and the state's larger lawsuit against the idea will continue. Xcel Energy is incredibly reliable at wanting to raise your rates. A $64 million gas rate increase was okayed 15 months ago. Now Xcel wants another $170 million. They say most of it will be spent on safety issues. Thanks to a state law passed last year in part because of reporting by our Marshall Zellinger, Xcel now has to be transparent about its last 10 years worth of rate changes. And here comes Marshall with the receipts. Hey.
Hi, and the receipts are going to seem a little overwhelming, but this is the column that we're going to focus on of what Xcel is asking to increase. It's called the base rate. And from 2014 to 2020, it was 8 cents per therm, just whatever you need to know about that, 8 cents, remember that. And since then, in the last 4 years, it's gone up almost 4 times as much. And that's where I start my conversation with Xcel Colorado President Robert Kinney. If my Netflix went up 4 times the amount, I probably would want to ditch Netflix, but I can't ditch Xcel. So what justifies an increase of 4 times the amount and now perhaps even more?
The dollars that we receive from our customers, and you're referring to base rates, particularly with respect to our natural gas system, are going to be primarily used to fund the safety and the reliability of the system. And I think that that's something that we all share in common, is a desire for a safe and reliable system.
You say safe, reliable, and resilient often. Are they like magic words that if you say those words, you can justify the expenses and justify the rate increases?
I wouldn't view them as magic words. I would view them as a true reflection of the obligation that we have. In order to maintain the safety of the system, we've got to do preventative maintenance. We have to do inspections. And so I view them as magic words only to the extent that it's a solemn obligation that we have to our customers.
Are you an Xcel customer?
I am, gas and electric.
Are you happy with your bill?
I am happy with my bill to the extent that I understand, probably more than the average customer or viewer. I understand what's required to provide the product that we provide, and I understand what's required to provide the service that we provide. I also know, and I will say this to you, Marshall, that I appreciate that there are certain of our customers that do have a harder time paying their gas and electric bill than do I. I'm very fortunate and very blessed. We already have energy assistance programs for both gas and electrics, and we worked with the commission to increase that by an additional $47 million.
But is that money paid for by customers?
The additional $47 million is paid by customers. And that's not an uncommon construct throughout the country.
How much is Xcel contributing on its own for energy assistance?
Well, we did contribute the $500,000 that we contributed to Energy Outreach Colorado. We also do quite a bit of foundation giving, not just to energy assistance, but to a whole host of nonprofits to the tune of something like $1.3 million that we've contributed to a host of different nonprofits.
As I've mentioned, energy assistance is another column on your bill. If I can get that to circle. It used to be 75 cents a month. It is now 79 cents a month that everybody pays, both on the gas side and another 79 cents on the electric side. Real quickly, one piece of good news for Xcel. This column fluctuates up and down. That is the cost of gas, the actual real price. So sometimes your bill does go down when that column changes. I'll tell you, I've done several stories with customers who were overbilled, underbilled, and had problems with their meters. I love showing this. So while I had Xcel CEO, Colorado's president, I had to ask him this question. What are you doing to better your customer service so I don't have to do it?
I don't want a customer to have to come to you, Marshall, or go to the news to be able to seek resolution. It is always my desire to provide outstanding and excellent customer service. We have to act like a competitive business and treat our customers as if they are ours to lose.
And just like this meter, I am off the hook.
I'm telling you, man, I know it's your job to ask good questions, but those were some phenomenal questions, and I thought the answers were so telling. I mean, Xcel doesn't have to worry about losing customers, right? Because you can't just go off and build your own nuclear power plant in your backyard. So the question is, what are they doing to preserve people's ability to pay their bills? I thought that was a fascinating conversation.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And the whole conversation is online on the next YouTube channel, about 20 minutes worth of interview with Xcel CEO.
Man, they've got us so sick of you. All right, Marshall, thank you. This week's Word of Thanks Microgiving campaign is supporting a program that helps kids find pathways out of poverty in rural Colorado. Kids at Their Best works with first-generation Coloradans, like immigrants, as well as families that have been on the Eastern Plains for a century or more. They do that through a leadership program in which the older kids in the community who are already now on the path to success, they get paid like real money to work with the younger kids in the community, helping them excel with their schoolwork today, preparing them for college and careers tomorrow. The nonprofit Kids at Their Best also runs food programs all over the plains all year long, because they know that hungry kids can't learn. They like to say that their program is a true reflection of the changing face of Colorado's Eastern Plains. 14 different languages spoken by a mix of immigrants and long-established families who live there. Their common goal, though, all those parents want their kids to succeed. They want them to be able to break out of generational poverty. Scan the QR code on your screen or text the word thanks to 303-871-1491 to get that link to join me in donating. A whole bunch of you have asked for an option where you don't have to put in your financial information every week and you don't get an email from every single nonprofit that we feature. That's why we set up the Word of Thanks Fund. And more than 1,000 of you have signed up for monthly donations. You put in that info once, your monthly donations automatically split among all the nonprofits we feature. Same QR code or text will get you there.
We believe in our right to be heard, in our right to represent our people.
The handful of Republicans left at the state capitol are going to have a harder time slowing down Democrats' plans this year. And we will end this week the way we end every week, by setting aside the headlines and asking you for something way more important. Whatever is good in your life.
Colorado-style home furnishings, the finest leather, the most beautiful upholstery, a fine dining room set, beautiful living room furniture, with more than an acre of fine furniture in stock for immediate delivery. Colorado-style home furnishings, C470 and University.
Her mood, bold. The vibe, daring. This place is a guaranteed good time. Energy, electric. Anticipation building. When the cards reveal themselves, she knew this was the place.
Embrace every season in a brand new all-season Champion sunroom. Right now, get 30% off a brand new sunroom. Create a space to fit your lifestyle. Start your project today with a Champion expert. Don't miss 30% off. Call 888-4CHAMPION or schedule your free in-home estimate online today.
Colorado, on snowy days, you can trust 9 News. From storm totals and areas of highest impact
to road conditions, power outages, and closures, the 9 News weather team has your complete Colorado coverage.
Catch storm updates anytime on 9 News Plus or throughout the day on 9 News and KTVD.
City roads are slick and snowy.
Be prepared.
Stay safe.
And get the latest on the storm with complete Colorado coverage
from your 9 News weather team.
Since 1977, the Wilhite Law Firm has been serving injured Coloradans across the Mountain West. This year, we are voted Best Personal Injury Law Firm in the Mile High. Whether you've been injured on the road or at work, our skilled legal team is here to provide you award-winning legal services. Don't delay. Call today for your free consultation, and remember, there is no fee until you win.
Call or text the Wilhite Law Firm today, 303-GOOD-LAW. That's 303-GOOD-LAW.
We are responsible oil and gas producers. Here in Colorado, we have some of the strongest regulations in the entire nation.
We take the time to make sure that we're meeting the regulatory requirements. We're the good neighbor wherever it is that we're operating.
The industry's mission is to safely, responsibly develop ever cleaner energy that fuels the world. Here from Colorado.
It is my work.
It's my life.
It's my promise.
We are Coloradans for responsible energy development.
The Republican minority at the state capitol these days is so teensy they can't stop any of the Democrats' bills. So stalling is the most that Republicans can do, and it's sometimes quite effective at the end of the legislative session. Today, though, Democrats changed the rules in the House to make it harder for Republicans to waste time and run out the clock. For instance, if a legislator wants a bill read at length, every word aloud, they have to stay in the chamber while it's done. That could take hours. Democrats say this is a way to ensure good faith arguments, but Republicans say they're being silenced.
The reason this is important is because it is essential to our ability to get the work done and to deliver for Coloradans.
We believe in our right to be heard, in our right to represent our people, and our right to be here to advocate for the positions that we feel are really important, and to also try to make bills better.
Democrats are also expanding the amount of time that they can suspend rules at the end of each session. Typically, that happens on the last 3 days. It allows for major bills to get rushed through at the last minute, like the Prop HH tax measure last year. Now, leadership could be able to do that for the last 10 days instead of the last 3.
I know the groundhog said an early spring, but for many of us, it's going to look and feel like winter when we wake up tomorrow. Already wintry scenes in the high country. The snow has already begun up there and will continue to pick up in coverage and intensity tonight. This powerful weekend storm will bring heavy mountain and foothill snow. Temperatures today ahead of the storm have been mild, as I showed you, partly to mostly cloudy skies and temperatures in the mid-50s. The cold air has yet to arrive. Center of circulation is headed for southeastern Colorado. It's tapping into this warm Gulf moisture and wrapping it back in along the front range of Colorado. And we're seeing that it's also tapping into some moisture out in the Pacific. So about a 48-hour event. We're seeing the snow pick up in the high country. Rain showers coming our way from the south. We'll see the rain overnight in Denver, flipping to snow tomorrow morning. The areas in red are for 1 to 2 feet of snow. A winter storm warning for those of you headed up I-70. Winter weather advisories for 4 to 8 inches of snow. And National Weather Service has put Denver under a winter storm watch for 3 to 6 inches of wet, slushy snow. Heaviest snow will be west and south of the city. We do have clouds increasing from the south. Scattered rain showers expected overnight tonight, mixing with snow tomorrow, and then kind of flipping back and forth throughout the day. We have Denver in that 3 to 6 inch range with heavier amounts, again, as I mentioned, to the west and to the south. Temperatures will be very comfortable this afternoon into the evening. We have snow continuing until midday Sunday, and then sunshine, warmer weather back to almost 60 by Tuesday of next week.
My good news is that I got all A's on my report card last semester.
Our favorite Friday question inspires some very smart answers from very smart young women. Your good news is next.
Savings. Big O savings.
Get up to $160 in rebate savings on 4 select in-stock tires with installation purchase. Plus 0 interest if paid in full within 12 to 6 months.
With Fargo, the new virtual assistant from Wells Fargo, you can pick up the tab even when you forget your wallet.
I got this. Fargo, send Kaz $145 to Xcel.
Smooth. Want faster, easier banking? You can with Wells Fargo. What else can Fargo do?
Oh, come on.
Fargo lets you do this.
Fargo, turn off my debit card. I found it. I found my card.
And also this.
Fargo, turn on my debit card.
Do you, Fargo? You can with Wells Fargo.
There's something special in store for you at American Furniture Warehouse. At AFW, we make beautiful homes for less every day, and we make sure customers get all the savings. Shop now at any American Furniture Warehouse location or AFW.com.
This is Monster Jam, as big as it gets. Coming to Ball Arena February 9th through the 11th. Brought to you by BKT Tires and Great Clips. You have to see it live, so lock in your seats today at monsterjam.com.
See that RAV4? Bring $49 down and pay the payment on the window.
See that Equinox? Bring $49 down and pay the payment on the window.
Alpine Buick GMC is selling every used car and truck for just $49 down.
And pay the payment on the window. Mic drop. Dropped it.
Mazda CX-5, $49 down, $299 per month. Chevy Silverado Crew Cabs, $49 down, $489 per month.
Bring $49 down
and pay the payment on the window
at Alpine Buick GMC.
Meet Clean Boss, the most powerful botanical disinfectant and cleaner in the world. Clean Boss, no harsh chemicals and safe around people and pets. Clean Boss kills COVID-19 virus, cold and flu virus, and RSV. And 99.9% of bacteria, fungus, and mold. Clean Boss, replace bleach, cut grease. Clean Boss goes head-to-head with those toxic cleaners. Wait, how about you get 4 big bottles for every surface in your home? Go to shopcleanboss.com and get Clean Boss now.
Savings. Big O savings.
Get up to $160 in rebate savings on 4 select in-stock tires with installation purchase. Plus 0 interest if paid in full within 12 to 6 months.
367 Fridays in. Never gets old. We never tire of asking a bunch of new Coloradans our favorite question to end the week. Forget what's in the headlines. What's your good news? This week, we caught up with some young women whose futures may involve science.
Turumo has been in Lakewood longer than the city of Lakewood has even been here.
My good news is that we, STEMblazers, is here with a group of about 25 girls, high school girls, and we are exploring all of the career opportunities that Turumo has to offer.
We make products that collect, process, and separate blood and cells.
My good news, I got A's on all my tests this week.
Excellent. Good for you.
Thank you. My good news is that me and my friends got to come down to Timu and enjoy the presentation and learn more about the Institute.
Go ahead. My good news is...
My good news is that I got a haircut.
My good news is that I just finished all of my tests for this week, so now I get to go on a service project for 2 weeks.
Did I have to put a hairnet on? Oh, we're about to? Oh.
My good news is that last weekend I went to my first ever basketball game, the Nuggets game, and they won.
My good news is that I got all A's on my report card last semester.
My good news is yesterday I went to a ballet show with my friends.
My good news is that I get to go skiing in a few weeks, and I got to do this today.
We are back with your feedback. A terrific piece of good news that just came in via email, and a New York Times headline that left me speechless.
People think it's normal to have foot pain. If you have foot pain, it's not normal and you need to do something about it. A good feet arch support system can be highly effective for pain relief. In addition, better balance, better stability, better function.
Colorado-style home furnishings. Enjoy your time at home. Create a beautiful living room, a cozy bedroom. Thousands of items in stock for immediate delivery. Exceptional savings going on now. Colorado-style home furnishings. C470 in University.
This is Colorado's most trusted news station. This is 9 News.
Lease a new 2024 EV6 Light Long Range for $379 a month.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'll get right to the point. It's the President's Day Super Sale at Denver Mattress.
Madam President, what's that mean for the average American?
It means saving $100 off every $1,000 you spend.
And Tempur-Pedic?
With bipartisan support, we've allocated a $300 gift with the purchase of any Tempur-Pedic.
And how will the people pay for these so-called savings?
Try 6 years, no interest, and free shipping. The President's Day Super Sale, on now at Denver Mattress.
Internet that's everything you imagine, and then some. Quantum fiber, your world unleashed.
They're popping up all over the place. Personal injury firms, big ones, small ones, out-of-state ones. Who can you trust if you've been seriously injured? Who do you call? You call me. Kyle Backus. I've been practicing law right here in Colorado for nearly 30 years. During that time, Backus & Shankers won over $1 billion for accident victims. We know Colorado law, and we know how to win. Backus & Shanker, our passion is justice.
The all-powerful Kia SUVs assembled in Georgia. Get 0.9% APR for up to 48 months on select new 2023 Sorento models.
Tonight, it is the return of a segment that longtime Next viewers will remember, Presented Without Comment, news that needs no additional explanation. The latest New York Times opinion piece this week is titled, "What Can Americans Agree On? Wolves." It actually is quite the thoughtful essay. It's centered on the conflict over wolves in Colorado, but it suggests that it might be a path to finding some common ground on a tough issue. The headline just had me staring blankly for a while, but it's a good read. We'll put it on the Next Facebook page and on the next section of 9news.com if you would like to read it as well. Karen disagrees with me. She did not like Marshall's interview with Xcel, thought that we let the head of Xcel slide with politicians' answers. I would say this, Karen, I think sometimes when you ask somebody a direct question and they give you a slippery answer, that's a pretty effective question. And this from Todd: now that dry January is finished, I'd like to flex out 12,617 days without a drop, 35 years. Congrats on that, Todd.
Thanks for watching Next. Join us again for 9 News tonight at 9 and 10, or watch any of 9 News' content live or on demand with 9 News Plus, available wherever you watch.